everyone, I'm Princess Link. Welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 4. I got Wooloo earrings. I got them on Etsy. I'll put the link to the store in the description below. I've got like a lot of really cool like Pokemon earrings and like sorry, I just showered. Yeah. I got a few other pairs, but you know, they are a little bit big and definitely not designed for people with multiple piercings, but I still like them. Anyway, chapter 3. In the beginning, there was Zero. Big Mama started talking from there, with a man named Zero who was the start of, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, where was I? What? There we go. The start of all of it. Of it all. She had once been known as Eva. It was only one of a number of aliases, but she spent most of her life under that one. Eva was a spy with many names, raised in the ways of espionage by the philosophers, the group of 12 powerful figures from America, China, and Russia in one of their operative training schools. She met Big Boss during Operation Snake Eater as a Soviet agent sent by the KGB to assist him on his mission. So I think I mentioned, I know I mentioned on some point on this channel that whenever I see like a color and then rose, I just immediately think of The Edge of Dawn, Fire Emblem Three Houses. But also, whenever I see anything Eater, I immediately think of Snake Eater. It's like, I don't know, Soul Eater! But that was only a cover. She was an operative of the Chinese faction of the Philosophers post-World War II split. Her true goal, to acquire the microfilm stolen by Volgan's father, containing the only means to access the Philosopher's legacy. But in the end, she failed her mission. The boss faked her defection to get close to Volgan and put her life on the line. With their lives on the line! For that tiny bit of plastic. She handed over the microfilm to Big Boss, and Eva stole it from him. But the film was a forgery. Afraid of reprisals from the Chinese government, the triple agent fled to Hanoi at the height of the Vietnam War. So who ended up with the Philosopher's legacy? The man who had founded and led the CIA's Experimental Special Forces Unit Fox. The man who was given charge of Operation Snake Eater. He was a former member of the British SAS alongside the boss. He was known as Zero. When he first met Big Boss, his rank was Major. Like Eva, he had many names, among them Major Tom, David O, but most called him Zero. Is this cricket? I feel like it's cricket. Then it was born, with the enormous fortune of the philosophers in hand. Zero brought into being a new organization to follow in the legacy of the legendary soldier, Hero, the boss. The other founding members were Mr. Sigint, Paramedic, Big Boss, with Zero, the 4 core members of the Fox unit, and a young man who had infiltrated the GRU to get to Colonel Volgan and covertly help Zero, Ocelot. They called themselves the Patriots. Eva joined them when Ocelot helped her out of a dangerous situation in Hanoi. They revealed to her their purpose, to unite a world divided between East and West, Soviet and America, communism and capitalism. A unity of thought and awareness so that all might share the same one view of the world. The Patriots believed their vision to be the world the boss had hoped for. A utopia where no soldier would be cast about by the changing times or have his life senselessly stolen. United, the Patriots shared in the boss's dreams. The end is always here, this world locked up in war. There's a voice that saves your heart and my soul, and the sun goes down with all my faults. So where's your feeling and where's your life? Wait, my god, I had the freaking Polish cow song stuck in my head earlier for some reason. Anyway, that had been the Welsh envisioned behind those sincere yet sad eyes. With the boss's noble martyrdom, Zero felt the need for a new icon to propel the new organization. He made Big Boss that icon. Zero gave rise to new legends, some wildly distorted and more fiction than reality, and added them to Big Boss's famed achievements. The Great Mercenary, the strongest warrior in the post-war world. But Big Boss wasn't so callous a man that he'd accept these false honors without feeling he'd done the boss wrong. It didn't take long for the tiny fissure between Big Boss and Zero to grow irrevocably icy and deep. He left Zero when the man became consumed by a thirst for control. He didn't desire power or money themselves. What? You mean himself? But simply pursued his desire to join all the people of the world to one single dream. And he did so relentlessly and to grotesque ends, reaching extremes of paranoia with ideas of universal monitoring and control, and power through environmental stimulations. Big Boss couldn't watch Zero distort the boss's ideals into a simple one-sided dogma. Yeah, like you were doing any better, Big Boss, Mr. World Locked Up in War. When Zero noticed Big Boss growing ever more distant, he started a new project in secret. Dr. Clark, known at the time as Paramedic, headed the efforts. What Zero really wanted was another Big Boss, but the warrior had been exposed to radiation in his youth and could not father children. If Zero wanted another fighter with Big Boss's genetic traits, he needed to create one outside the normal methods of reproduction. The project's name was Les Enfants Terribles. And its goal was to clone Big Boss, the ultimate soldier. After dozens of failures, they finally, miraculously, succeeded in producing a fertilized egg, an imitation life born from somatic cells. Eva volunteered to serve as the surrogate mother to protect the egg inside her body until birth. Her joy was to give birth to Big Boss. But the project would split Zero and Big Boss once and for all. When Big Boss learned of the births of his two copies, Solid and Liquid, he left America and, after years of drifting, founded the private military company Outer Heaven in South Africa. Not South America. They're very different. In this way, Big Boss declared war against Zero, and any who would twist the boss's joy into an appalling dogma. Except for him. One wish, two interpretations. Everything stemmed from that. One thought order and control were all, and he grew obsessed with exercising total control. He amassed a fortune through countless wars. His words influenced decision-making all the way up to the Oval Office. He believed people's inner selves would be governed by an outer force, the system. The other was angered by the obsession with limitless control. Unlimited power! I don't like this freaking berry. I don't like it. The other was angered by the obsession with limitless control, a Vision 5 remote from what had once drawn them together. He launched a battle against the would-be global control. At the end of the Cold War, the second Cold War broke out. None knew its full scope, and none could possibly comprehend its real meaning. This world, so out of phase with our own, could only barely be perceived by slightly shifting the meaning to each war, conflict, and incident. Big Boss's battle was put down by none other than his own son, because he sucks ass. Big Boss, not David. Look, David. David, my beloved. The only valid snake. No, not really, but like, I don't know. No, the only valid snakes are David, Eli, and Venom. And Raiden, if you want to count him as a snake. But like, he doesn't count because he's not actually a snake. Except was for a little bit. But, like, I don't count him. Raiden's also the only Metal Gear Nintendo that I don't have. I'm sad, I want him. I want him. Anyway, I also want an Otacon Nendoroid. They just had the freaking voting thing, and I voted for him. But I don't know if we're gonna get one. And if we don't, it's it's anti-Semitism, okay? Because he might be Jewish, and also freaking one of the Attack on Titan characters got a re-release or something, and Attack on Titan is Nazi propaganda. I'm not kidding about that, by the way. It's literally Nazi propaganda. So it's anti-Semitism. It's anti-Semitism if we don't get an Otacon Nendoroid. Anyway. Where was I? Wait. Oh yeah. After he was defeated by Solid Snake, a man with his own genes, Zero recovered his battered body. Big Boss had once been the icon of Zero's movement. He had once been Zero's friend. The fallen man represented everything Zero had once believed in, as well as the inevitability of betrayal. Zero was no longer willing to place his organization in the hands of the next generation. He built 4 AIs, GW, TJ, AL, and TI, to be the final centerpiece to fulfill his mad aspirations. There was one more artificial intelligence, a core unit called John Doe, or JD, that regulated, monitored, and controlled the other 4. Our efforts on the Big Shell resulted in the destruction of GW, but the remaining AIs continued to set forth the future envisioned by the Patriots. Eva and Ocelot began working to free Big Boss from Zero's clutches. They enlisted Naomi Hunter. To do what? Like, what did she do? How was she helping? An authority in the field of nanomachine research into their organization. Yeah, but like, what did she do? Nothing. She just poisoned David. They helped free Frank Yeager, the test subject of exoskeletal research who lived a cruel existence, in hopes they could use him to kill Paramedic, the head of the Patriots' cybernetic exoskeleton research. And Eva and Ocelot prevailed. Ocelot infiltrated Foxhound, not Outer Heaven, getting close to one of the snakes, Liquid, and helped them on Shadow Moses. There, he killed Donald Anderson, the DARPA chief, and the man at the core of the development of Metal Gear X, also known as Mr. Sigint. Why Mr.? Where did the Mr. come from? I thought it was just Sigint. Liquid had raised his army in rebellion, and it's very polite. Like, Mr. Sigint. Hi, Mr. Sigint. Liquid had raised his army in rebellion and demanded Big Boss's body in hopes that with it, he could do something about the genetic disease that afflicted his men, the next generation special forces, who had been genetically enhanced with Big Boss's genes. Of course, Ocelot had given Liquid the idea. Ocelot's sole purpose was to use the island's capture to kill Donald Anderson, and if he could get Big Boss's body at the same time, all the better. But with that mission came the end of Ocelot and Eva's alliance. Ocelot lost his right arm on Shadow Moses, and when he crafted Liquid's arm in its place, his body was taken over by Liquid. Now entirely alone, Eva had nearly lost all hope when Raiden came to her with GW's data and gave her a new path. Among the data was the location of Big Boss's body. Snake and Big Mama walked out the front of the monastery and into a courtyard. The rain had stopped. The stones in the courtyard were still wet, sparkling in the moonlight, and smelled of the rain. The fog had lifted and a few clouds were in the sky. Big Mama walked Snake to the back of the van. Two identical ones, travelers still clinging to their black paint, were parked on either side. "They look like horses." "Horses, not horses," Snake said. "This is his pyx," Big Mama said. "His holy ark." Slowly, she opened the van's rear door. Seeing the figure inside, what Snake felt wasn't anger, much less hate, but pity. He felt a sadness akin to despair toward the man, who even in his current state was considered alive. Big Mama stepped back. "His body's alive, but his consciousness is locked away by nanomachines. So, technically speaking, he's not really brain dead." Snake had trouble appreciating the difference. Covering the body was a translucent black sheet of sealed plastic that seemed to Snake like a body bag. The man inside was without limbs, a sadistic sculptor's idea of a bust. Judging from the missing left eye and the shape of his face, he had to be Big Boss. The skin Snake had burned away in Zanzibar land had been stitched together with skin grafts so completely that no seam showed. But his cheeks were deeply sunken, and his lips had lost their fat, taking the shape of the gums beneath. If someone were to slap a layer of skin over a bare skeleton, the result would likely look about the same. Medical equipment installed inside the van kept those skin and bones in a state of life. The dutiful machines regulated the breaths of the man who would never be able to breathe on his own again. Snake muttered, "Why did Zero keep him alive?" Why had he gone to such great efforts to cling to his body, the body of the traitor, the enemy who had hindered his great aspirations, and the man he had grown to hate? With a sad smile, Big Mama said, "People need legends." She looked past Big Boss and into some distant place. Zero wanted to create a messiah, a legend that would never die. She closed the door, and Big Boss was again shut away inside with his ventilator. As Snake followed her back to the church, he pondered his fate. Perhaps committing suicide would be a better end to his life than the eternal quasi-death Big Boss suffered. Meanwhile, in Nomad, Naomi had disappeared. Yeah. Sorry, I'm really sweaty. Yeah. Screw you, Naomi. F you, Naomi. Anyway, if you like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!